Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Growing Wild Farm and Garden. Try to get back on this train of weekly episodes, weekly videos for you guys. And it's hot. It's hot. In fact, I will leave the temperature there. It's hot. They're actually estimating that this whole week is going to be about that hot, about 100. I can't remember how high in the hundreds, but this summer has been relatively cool. We've been pretty friggin' lucky, but it seems like it's definitely coming back with a vengeance. Um, I have a honey video for you today because of something I was doing. Um, Sorry, it's a little windy. Hopefully you don't hear that too much. Um, we have had a little bit of honey that we have had left over because I was trying to figure out how much my husband actually needed for us to keep in the house. He likes to use honey in his coffee. Tip: if you don't use honey in your coffee, apparently that's a very popular thing for people to do. I don't prefer it. He uses it every day. So there you go. He actually likes the crystallized honey because it's easier to scoop out and put in his coffee, and then the coffee melts it. Also, quick tip if you didn't know, crystallized honey is not bad. I actually made a post about it not too terribly long ago on my Instagram. If you'll follow me at Instagram, Growing Wild Farm and Garden. I'll leave that link for you. If you didn't know that, now you do. Crystallized honey is not bad. It's just crystallized. In fact, if you didn't already know this as well, they have actually found honey in tombs in Egypt. I believe it's Egypt. And I'll link that research down in the description for you, as well as I'll give you a quick, wherever country it was. They found honey in Egypt in jars that was still good. It had no bacteria, had no mold, had no nothing. I'm sure it had crystallized to craziness, but it was still good. Like, it was still edible. And that's the crazy, amazing thing about honey. It can ferment if you don't harvest it correctly, and there's too much water content. I was actually talking to our power guy the other day. Shout out to the power guy. If you know who you are, then hey, thanks so much for that conversation and helping us out that day. We were talking to the power guy because we actually had just pulled a whole box of honey, and we still need to spin it today. I think I'm going to probably spin it tonight. But we were talking to him about the water content. The water content is the nectar. So when the bees first collect the honey, there's nectar in all of those honeycomb. What they do is they dry it out using their wings, using the airflow through the hive, and eventually dry it down to honey, which is like a syrup. So if you think like when you make a syrup, you're adding water and sugar together. Well, you have to boil out the water to make a syrup, to make it thicker. It's the same thing with honey. They are aerating and using the airflow all through their hive. That's why they fan across the combs and everything to dry the honey out and to take the water content out. And varying degrees of water content gives them different degrees of certain things, but a certain amount of water content is okay for honey. And once they get it down to about that percentage, and I'll have to leave that percentage there for you because I can't remember it off the top of my head. Once they get it to that percentage, that's when they cap it. And that's what we were telling our power guy. It caps, and they put that white wax cap over it so that they're preserving the honey. We had just pulled a full honey box off and need to spin it, but we still had some leftover honey that had crystallized in our jars because I was trying to save it from last year. Of course, didn't know exactly how much we needed. Estimated poorly, I guess, because we still have more than I think we needed to make it all the way back to this summer where we're going to pull. So I wanted to let you know a quick, easy way that I have figured out how to warm up the honey without heating up my house and without boiling it, which is something we don't want to do because that will, of course, eliminate all of the antibacterial properties and antioxidants that are in the honey that everybody sort of looks for in a local honey. We don't pasteurize, we don't heat our honey specifically for this. Now for this use, for us, since it's crystallized, this is probably not honey I'm going to sell because it's been heated. Now, I can't tell you how high it's been heated to. I'll have to look that up myself. But I do know that this honey has been heated enough that the crystallization is actually starting to liquefy because, again, it's like 100-something degrees outside. So I wanted to show you that real quick and share this tip with you because I thought you might find it helpful. So let me just show you the few jars that I kind of have outside in the heat. Oh my God, the sidewalk's so hot. So here's my jars. They're just sitting outside next to the garden. Oh my gosh, I gotta get off the sidewalk. Whew. Oh man, the sidewalk's hot. Look, look. Okay, look. That's where I was. I was standing right there. Oh, the sidewalk's really hot. I'm barefoot all the time. Team barefoot. So yeah, that sidewalk's really, really hot. I couldn't stay there for very long. Even with my normal barefoot, just normalness, I couldn't stand there for very long. I've got all those jars sitting out in the sun. And again, if you look at my Instagram, I'm trying to do a before and after. Before, when a couple of the jars were crystallized, and then after, what it looks like after sitting in the sun since noon today. So I'm gonna leave them. They actually look pretty clear right now. I'll have to go and tilt them a little and shake them up a little. Not really shake, but tilt, because they're so viscous, and see how much they've melted. But that's a super eco-friendly way, easy way, without heating up your house, without using more of your air conditioning, to warm up your honey and get it going to decrystallize. I believe you could probably also do this in a solar oven if you have a solar oven available, or if you want to build one. That may be something I have to test out in the winter because we're about to pull some more, and if it crystallizes again, maybe it's something that I test out. You can also do this safely with a gentle low heat and a double boiler. Double boiler is basically just one big pot with another pot inside of it to sort of even out the heat. You boil the water in the first pot, you put the honey in the second pot, and you use that as sort of like when you would melt chocolate. You use steam, or you use the gentle warmth around the first pot so that it's not directly hitting with that heat. You do not ever want to microwave honey. It just, as per my experience, so don't, just use this is just my personal experience. If you microwave honey, especially in a plastic container, it is super dangerous because the plastic will melt. The honey gets to a super high temperature, even more than you would ever think it could reach, even in 30 seconds in that microwave. Don't do it. It'll burn you. It might melt the container and then leak out and then burn you. It might start a fire because of the plastic melting. I don't know. I don't recommend it. Don't do it. Don't take this as any sort of idea to do that. That's a bad idea. The way that I heat up my honey is, like I said, outside or in the double boiler. So do it safely. Protect yourself. Don't get hurt. And if you don't know how to do it, then don't do it. Just be safe. Other than that, guys, really, that's all I had today. It was just a really quick video because I was doing this and I thought, you know what? I don't know how many other people do this. So, in fact, if you've made it this far and you do this, you have tried this, you've done this for years, who knows? Let me know. Is this something I just stumbled upon because I'm in Oklahoma and the heat is ridiculous? What other, besides crock potting, what other tips do we have to not heat up the house and keep the AC from, overworking itself? Well, other than that, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you've had a good week so far, and I will see you on the next episode. But until then, have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next episode.